Online, am I audible? Online, am I audible? Can you hear me? Perfect. Good. Good morning, everyone. Good. How are you all? Fine. In the last few classes, we discussed basics of React. We discussed components. We discussed props. And we discussed how to send props to the components. And we have done some kind of chota tasks also. Today, we are going to discuss something new and important topic, the most important topic, which is called state. I will just show you what we have discussed and then we'll move forward to the state, the most important one. Okay. If you understand today's topic, almost the basics of React, you are finished. The main important point will be discussed today so that after today's one, you will understand it like how the React one works or why the people preferring the React one. Okay. What is the difference it with other kind of technologies? Where are we? Let's go here. Let's go here. Open code. Good. Now, if you are fresher, that means if it is your first time, there is a chance you might get confused which component is sending the props, which component is receiving the props. So that is why I recommend you to go with the flow. If I have to tell you the flow one more time, the flow is very simple. Let's go here. TXT. Now, if I have to tell you one more time, the flow first file. What is the first file? Index.html. Index.html is connected to main.jsx. And this main.jsx is connected to very good. Till now, it's common for any application which is built with Wit. Now imagine I'm doing this cartoon one. Yesterday I did this cartoons one. Okay. Now, if I write it here in this app, in this app, if I write it here, header, so it will go to header.jsx. Same way, I write it in app, something called cartoon. And for this cartoon, I sent here cartoon name, cartoon year, and they both will go to cartoon.jsx. So which file you are sending? App.jsx. Which file you are receiving? Cartoon.jsx. And footer. This is what I discussed yesterday. I have not done the footer these things, but normally structure will be like this. If you discuss few days before, like we discussed movie line and movie. If it is a movie line, first in app.jsx I put movie line. And in that movie line I put the movie. The components will be more nested. Yesterday I created a button also, something regarding. Here I put something button, and in button, for button I sent button, and for button I sent here color, something color text, I think color and text I sent, and those things whatever I sent received here text. So received in button.jsx. So I want people to first write this somewhere, like which file I am writing the component, so that which file I'm sending, which file I'm receiving. First, you should have a clarity. Okay. Why? Because when you open multiple files, there is a chance that people might confuse. It's absolutely fine. For the first time, people it will happen. Okay. Now, till now, everyone clear, sir? Perfect. Online, everyone clear? Good. Now comes to the most interesting topic of React, which is called state. If you understand state, you will understand virtual DOM, and you will understand why React is changing, and you can actually build something bigger applications, which I will do. Notes, if you want, you can take it from the GitHub. Okay. I will mention the notes in the txt file and the code in the folders. If you open the Git, which I gave GitHub, you will have it. I recommend people to follow through the Git instead of classrooms, because classrooms are for the kids. Initially, classroom is designed for 10th class or 9th class, 8th class people. It's not designed for bigger ones. You are professional, so in future, if anyone share the documentation for you also, they will share it in the GitHub only. Okay. Now, good. GitHub link I gave it. Again, I will give it today also. Now, let's see. What is a state, sir? State refers refers state refers a change in React application. Every time the state changes, the state changes. Every time the state changes, that particular component or the application re-renders re-renders. State is always mutable. You know what is mutable? Mutable means something that changes. Immutable means something that doesn't change. Okay, state is basically a change. And local to a component, it is particular to only that particular component. and reactive. Reactive means changing it, changes the UI, user interface. We'll do one small code with a state. Okay. I will show you. Then, not code first, I will show you some examples of the state. And then we'll see it like what is, then we'll see it like what is difference between the states, props, and how it will work. Even online people focus here, sir. The more you understand clearly this topic, majority of the React will be over. Now, if I go to one application, sir, for example, I'm going to the um, let's go here. Everyone see this application. This is a classic example. Counter. You all know counter, no? Sir, when I click here, increase. When I click here, increase, something in your UI is changing. With what is changing? Number is changing, na? Sir, when number is changing, do you think the page is reloading? Observe this. Is page is reloading, sir? One more time. Let's observe this one clearly, sir. Any other thing is reloading, sir? When your number is changing, only that particular number is changing without disturbing any other part, without disturbing any other part, and without causing the whole page to reload. Okay, that actually deals by state. What the state will do, React will maintain a state of all current values. Like, for example, in childhood, you learned this something called solid state is there, liquid state is there, something gas state is there. State is like a form. So, how the matter changes from one state to another state, React applications changes from one state to another state. How the React will think it like, okay, what is the current state? Animate counter 3, decrease, increase, reset, white background, middle box. This is this component ka state. So stay basically it stores the local values. The moment you try to update, when I click increase, I try to update 3 to 4. Does everything changes? No. Only one particular value ka state changes. Remaining all ka state same. Okay. So only that particular one, whichever the state changes, only that one it will change, and the remaining one it will keep it same. Okay. This is the major concept why the state is introduced. How it will work, we will discuss in detail. Okay. What is the difference between props and state is props are like if what two components are there, one bigger component, one smaller component, one component send data to another component. This is called props. But if something happen inside the component, one component giving another value to the same component. Till now, movie name is KGF. Now, when I click a button, KGF name will become KGF2. But is another one giving the KGF2 name? No. This guy only updating. When component getting it update to itself, that becomes like some change happened in the component. That is considered as state. Are you getting my point, ma? So state is nothing but the change happens in local. Okay. Online, are you getting my point? Let's do this example only. I will do it like the code. I will go with the flow. Same one. I will do this. In React, what happened? We used to have earlier default state. Default by default, how to do state and how to change the state and all everything by default used to have in class components. But when it comes to the functional components, now we are writing functional components. For that, we don't have directly state. So to maintain state, we will use something called hooks. Okay. Now let's start. Let's explain it like how it will work one by one by one. I'm going to start a simple application. CD, no need of CD. Um, npm create white @latest state demo react javascript no yes. Now automatically react project will come. It is installing. Done. Now if I go here, by default actually with people will give you state also. Did you see what is count value? If I click on this, is any other thing is changing? Only this particular part is changing na? Some value is changing na? Whenever state changes, the component also re-renders. Okay, this logic is called state. Okay, but by default it will give you. But I don't want it. I wanted to develop my own. Let me go here. State demo. I am directly going to app.jsx. I am deleting everything in app.jsx since I don't need any other things. I will write it here. Import app.css. Now function app and every function you need to write it here. Export default app. Online people, if you get it out, you can tell me. Now, all I will do is I will put here one simple button, sir. Acha, anyone remember this empty containers? What is this empty container is called? Fragment. Empty container is fragment, okay, which you can use anywhere. But if you give this empty container, you cannot give CSS for it, okay, because it's an empty element. Now, uh, here I will write it here, button, click me, and I will give it here one paragraph. Paragraph contain a value 0. If I go here, here is my application. Can you see here, sir? 0 and click me is there. Online. Can you see 0 and click me? Sir, now you tell me. If I click this, 0 should become 1. If I click this, 0 should become 1. How to do that? How to do that? Now comes to the interesting point of React. Let's do our experiments. I will tell you first the wrong way. Go here. Let's take it a value. Let x equals to 0. What is initially x value, sir? And here I am keeping here x. So automatically you are getting x value. Na? Whenever you are clicking this button, do you know this function called on click? On click is used that when you click the button, you want to run any function, you will use something called on click. I am writing on click, but in JSX, everything is a camel case. That means I will write it here on click in capitals. Like on, C is capital. Okay. On click, I'm writing here one function, something like increase. One function I called increase. Where is this increase function, sir? Let me write it here. Function increase. This is a normal function, not a JSX one. This increase function will have it like x plus plus. Now, now everyone see this online. Does any one of you have any doubts here? Normally, what you will do in HTML, you will write it like here only increase, and you will call it like this, na? Okay. Here you should not do that. Why? Because if this is JSX, in JSX, anything with the JavaScript one, you should put it in brackets. And you should not call directly in brackets. Why? Because if you directly call, what will happen? It will automatically call that. When you click only, you should call that, na? But if you put that brackets there, without clicking, it will call, which is not good. Now, I will print this in console also. Console.log x. Now you go here. If you go to this program, right click, inspect, console, refresh. Now I'm clicking this. Everyone see this. I'm clicking this. Sir, what is X value now? Again, I'm clicking. What is X value now? Does X value changing or not? But is it changing in the screen? Is it changing in the screen, sir? Online, observe it. Very simple example. Now you are going to understand to depth. Sir, whenever I'm changing normally a particular value, that value is changing, but it is not reflecting in the component. Why? Because the component is already rendered. The component is already, imagine you are React component, Ray. You are React component. You ask me, what is X value? I said 0. Then you directly went home. You are now with you, what is X value? 0. But now I updated X value 1. Do you know that? No, because you already loaded. You already loaded with the value 0. Now I updated to 2, 3, 10, 20. But you don't know. What you know? 0 only. This is the classic problem in React. But how do you solve this? That is why we have something called state. What the state will do is, if I change X value to 1, then again it will call you. It will tell you, you have X value 0 na? Abhi change hua 1. Then what you will also have? 1. Are you getting my point, ma? I gave you X value 0. You went home. Now you are having 0 value. I updated to 1. Immediately you will get a notification. You are like, oh, X value 1 hua. So तुम्हारे पास भी 1 है. Every time a value changes, what the state will do, state will re-render the page again and again, not page, re-render that particular component. Only that particular component will reload. Re-render means is like reload. Okay. So here state is not changing. This is the interesting. Did I put anywhere state? Did I write anywhere state, sir? No. This is the normal one. Here state is not changing. How do you make the state change, sir? To make the state change, sir, what you have to do is first you have to import. You have to import a hook. You have to import a hook. Okay. We will write the notes. The hook name is use state. There is a hook named use state. Use state. Use state. So how to make and manage state in a component. Step 1, import a hook use state, import a hook use state from React. Sir, what is a hook, sir? Hooks are default functions. Hooks are default functions in React that returns values as per use case. Based on the use case, they will return the values. For example, in Python, you have something called reverse method. In Python, you have it like something mod method. In Python, you have it like something, uh, uh, dif- different kinds of methods, substring or something. Those are default functions. Okay. They are by default defined. Same way, by default, React will provide some functions, and those functions are called hooks. What are they called, ma? Hooks. What is hook will do, sir? Hook will connect actually. What is the main purpose of hook is to connect. The same way, these hooks are used to connect the missing parts, like in our application state. Okay, it's a predefined method provided by React. Can you see here? Predefined method. From where I'm importing? React. What is this use state will do, sir? Use state hook use state hook returns a stateful value and a function to update it. React hook returns a stateful value. React hook returns a stateful value and a function to update it. Update it. Clear, ma? Use state returns the values in array form. Array form. And use state accepts initial value. initial shell value. So now I'm gonna write the syntax. Step 2, what is the syntax of use state is const value, comma, you can put const or letter, const is a good one, value, comma, function to update value, to update the value. You can write any function equals to use state, use state, initial value. Just note it down. We'll do it like slowly. Done. Now let's implement, sir. Sir, first step, I imported na. Second step, starting here, const. You can take any name. What is the value name you want here? X. What is the value name here? That is for your wish. Is there any rule like you have to put X only? No, your wish. Comma. I want one function. Sir, you can put any name. By default, use state will give that function. So I will write it here, set X. What is the name? Set X equals to use state in brackets. You have to give initial value. What is initially you want X value? Now, tell me, sir. Now, anyone tell me in line number 8, what will print for X value? Why? Because initial value you gave it as 0. Initial value you gave it as 0. Now, sir, I'm going to write this increase method. Same like yesterday, same like earlier. I will write it this increase method. Earlier also I write the same thing, but now a little bit twist. Sir, now if I want to update X value, I don't write directly X plus plus. Instead of writing directly X plus plus, I have one method now. Anyone see this? I have one method now. What is the method to update the X value? There is a function to update X value. What is that function name? Set X. But is there any rule it should be set X? You gave that name. Name is always syntax here. The function name will be there. You can give any function name. I'm giving the name. Usually it will contain something like set. Set X. What is the value you wanna give? I wanna give value X plus 1. I'm not giving directly 1. I am giving X plus 1. So X value 0 hai to what it will become? 0 plus 1. If X value 1 hai to 1 plus 1. If X value 10 hai to 10 plus 1. Online, are you all getting my point, ma? Now you see the magic. Now what will happen is same code, but this time whenever I'm updating, can you see it is updating in the UI? See, if you see only that particular part will change. See, it's updating. Why it is updating? Because, sir, initially it will take one value X. What is initial X value? 0. See, Initially, use state is one default function that will take initial value for a variable. And that variable initial value, what it will think, sir? X 0. So I printed, sir. Then I click this button. Whenever I click this button, it is calling one method called increase. In this increase, I write set x. What is set x? Set x is a function provided by use state. And what is this function will do? It will update x value. It will update the x value. So set x, you should give one value. What is the value you are giving? X plus 1. What is x value now? What is x value now, sir? 0 plus 1. So set x, what it will do? It will go to x and it will change x value to 1. It will replace. अभी तक 1 है. Sorry, अभी तक 0 है. So 0 plus 1, I am updating it. If I go here now, you see this. I write it here, set x Prasad. Anyone tell me, when I click this button, what the x value will become now? Yeah. If I click the button now, what the x value will become? Prasad. Because set x is just a method which will replace the x value based on the logic you give. Just it will replace. अभी तक 0 है, 0 छोड़ दो, प्रसाद डाल. उसके बाद हर इच टाइम वो प्रसाद है, क्योंकि प्रसाद प्रसाद से रिप्लेस होता. Any doubts? Online, are you getting my point? Let's do another one. Now tell me, if initially x value is 1, if I click the button, what it will become now? Again click, 8, right or not? Multiplied by 2, na? Every time. So, major point. Use state gives you two things. One is value, another one is a function to update the value. But sir, how does it update? I said you na, when I give the value, you go with that value to your home. And whenever I update it, you don't know the intimation. But what the React do, React use state, what the state will do, whenever you are updating the value, it will reload this all. It will reload this particular component. This is called re-render. What is it called? Re-render. Re-render. Every time state changes, this is very carefully you should do. The moment state changes, the whole component re-renders. The whole component again re-renders. This is how product cart, like in Amazon and all, when you click the one, add to cart, the one will increase there, na? That is happening with the state. That is a state. Now, more interesting. If I write it here, x plus 1, console.log x. Now, if I go here, see this example. Initially, what is x value I gave? 1, correct. If I click this button, what will happen? 1 will become, you see my example, x plus 1. If I click this button, what 1 will become? 2 na? In console, what do you think it will print? 2 na? But there is a problem. In console, what it printed? Again, I will click this button. Now, when I click this button, x value is 3. But what it is printing? Sir, when values changes, it is printing the old one. Na? That is because in interview, people will ask this kind of tricky. Because in React, state is asynchronous. Anyone know in JavaScript what is asynchronous? If you don't know, I will tell you. No worries. Asynchronous means anything that takes some time to run. Asynchronous one will not complete immediately. Asynchronous one will take some time to run. So in React, state is asynchronous. Asynchronous means it takes some time to run. So below statements will execute will be executed first. So sir, you write first state value, then you write console value. But first console will work. Why? Because the state value will tell it like, okay, I will take some time. So your compiler will not wait until that time. So automatically it will go to the next one. So actually you write line number 9 and then line number 8. First line number 9 will run, then come to the line number 8. Because state is always asynchronous. Till now, anyone have any questions, sir? Online, anyone have any questions? We'll do more and more in this one example only. Now, what I want you to do. Now, sir, I want one button. Let's build another one. I want one button. When I click this, value will be -1. I want one button. When I click that, value will be -1. Can we do it, sir? Let's create it quickly. I will write it here. Same way button. This button I will put increase button, I will put plus symbol, and decrease button I will put a minus symbol. Now if I go here, how do you put here decrease? Here I will write another function called decrease. But there is no decrease function. So I'm gonna write it here decrease function. Decrease. Sir, in decrease function, what value I have to give, sir? X -1. Simple, na? Now if you go to this component, you have two buttons. One is +1, -1. Increase, decrease. What some people will do, instead of writing another function set x +1, they will write it here only. Instead of writing separately, people will write it like one default function. There you will write it here set x. What is x value? X +1. You should call dummy function. Then only you should call. If you directly call it, it will not work. Now same way, instead of writing separately, I will write it here set x -1. It will set the values. Now I don't need this also. My program will become more simple. Online, is it clear, ma? Online, are you all getting my point? More state. Do you know input boxes? In HTML, there is something called input type equals to text. I wanna write that. What I wanna do is, I will put one text box, sir. Someone will write something in it, and whatever they are writing, I wanna print. But sir, whatever they are writing, it will change, na? It is not every time same, na? It will change, na? So if something changes, what you should use, sir? Sir, if something changes, you should use state. What you should use? State. What is the hook you will use for state, sir? Use state. What is the hook, sir? Use state. Very good, sir. Now, sir, I want to write one input box. I want to write it here, one input box. Type equals to text. In this input box, I will type something. And whatever I type, I want to print it here. My text. What is the value, sir? Text I want to print. Something variable. You can put any variable name. Now, write it the use state here. Const. I want the name text. Function name set text equals to use state. What is the initial value, sir? Tell me, what is initial value? Initial value will be empty, na? अरे देखो, initially what you wanna print अभी तक नहीं है. Whenever someone enter something, I will print that. Okay, so I will write it here. Initially empty. You entered simple empty. I write here text. State, देखो, state means change. Okay, state is a concept that represents the change. Okay, use state is a predefined method called hook. Now here, if you see this input, now I wanted to write in this input. Instead of text, I will put some another name because people will get confused with that text and this text. I will write it here T and T. Okay, now what is the value? Initial value. Initial value is T. What is initial value of T? Sir, what is initial value of T, sir? Empty. Very good. Initially, I'm giving input type ka value empty. Now, anyone tell me, button ko on click hai. Button have on click. Everyone knows. Input also you have. Whenever you are changing input, you can call one method. Anyone knows that? In JavaScript, button on click. Input, we have on input. We have on change. You remember, sir? For form, we have on submit. Those are events, re, JavaScript ka. Okay. You can use on input or on change. Both are same. So I am using on change. Whenever you are changing, whenever you are changing, okay, whenever you are changing, I want to write that line. So I will take here one function. I will take one event. I will write it here set t e dot target dot value. Now if I go here, refresh p, see the moment I'm typing it is coming. What is happening, sir? Do you guys know this? In JavaScript, anyone knows this? Did you ever used this in JavaScript? No, you did form validations in JavaScript. You will use it actually. Okay, if you don't ever use it, I will tell you. Don't worry. देखो, in forms, event handlers people do it. But if you don't know, everyone see this. Sir, whenever you are changing, whenever you are changing, you are calling one function, in that you are passing E. E means event. By default, it will pass. It is JavaScript topic, not React actually. Event. What is the event here? On change is the event. What is the event here? On change. Now I am giving some value. You know what is that value? Event dot target. Which element it is targeting? Sir, on change is targeting to input element. On change is targeting to input element. So I am writing what is the value in this input. If you type P, value will become P na. If you type R, value will become R na. If you type A, value will become A na. So what I am doing is, every time whenever someone type, I am seeing what is inside this one P. So give this P to T. And next time when they type A, what R? What is inside this one? PR. Give this PR. Again, if they type A, what is inside now? PRA. Give this PRA to T. Every time I am checking what is inside this box and then giving that value to T. That way you are getting it like the value changes again and again. Online, are you getting my point, ma? Online, are you all getting? Basically, once again, I'm telling it how the inputs works are. In input box, see, now tell me, what is the value of this input box now? What is value of this input box? Barabar. What is value of this input box now? What is value of this input box now? PR. What is value of this input box? What is value of this input box? अभी तक doubt है? No. Now let's do this experiment more interesting. Initially, what is t value? तो देखो सर, t value है empty, and input box value is also t only. So initially input box value also empty. Both are empty. Any doubts? No. I write here P. तो इनपुट बॉक्स का वैल्यू क्या हुआ? आई एम चेकिंग ई डॉट टारगेट बोले तो इनपुट बॉक्स, इवेंट का टारगेट इनपुट बॉक्स है. इनपुट बॉक्स का वैल्यू क्या है? इनपुट बॉक्स का वैल्यू क्या है? आई एम गिविंग दिस पी. सेट टी बोले तो सेट टी विल चेंज द टी वैल्यू ना. सेट टी इज यूज टू चेंज द टी वैल्यू. सो इट विल टेक दिस इनपुट का वैल्यू टू टी. नाउ व्हाट इज टी वैल्यू? व्हाट इज टी वैल्यू नाउ? टी. Correct. Now, again, I updated in input box. Now, what is input box value? PR. Automatically, SetT will do this. That is why whenever you are printing T value is also changing. This SetT is changing. SetT is used to change the T value. Simple logic. Are you getting my point, ma, online now? Online, very few people were responding. The remaining people also, I wanted participation. All the people who are sleeping in the online, please wake up now. Good. Okay. The more you do state, the more easy it will become. But sir, how React does that internally? React does internally state. React internally does state using a concept called virtual DOM. Virtual DOM. Virtual DOM. Virtual DOM. Because of this, because of this, because of this, React will React is the fastest one, and it changes only wherever changes needed. Changes needed. What is virtual DOM? Before I go virtual DOM, does anyone know what is DOM? Document Object Model. Everything you do actually is stored in a document. Okay, that is real DOM. Original document is real DOM. But what the React will do, if I create this application, I am telling something internally what the React is doing. You don't do this. Okay. I am just telling how the React works only. Online, can you see the paint ma? Yes, you can. Good. Now, sir, how does React do? For example, for this program, I will write the React. Um, body, inside the body, I am having it like one empty div inside the body. Directly, I have it like one input box, one paragraph, and another paragraph for count with X value. This is for T value. And here I have button, which is plus button. This is button with minus button. Sir, this is my DOM. Anyone have any doubts in my DOM? DOM is like a tree structure people do. Now, sir, initially X value is 0. If I click a plus button, X value will become 1. If I click minus button, X value will become minus 1, right? Obviously, right? Well, plus means increase, minus means decrease. Any doubts, ma? Any doubts, sir? This is actual DOM. Original DOM is this only. In childhood, na, when sir give you mathematics works are very complex. So we can't do directly maths work. We don't want to spoil the class notes. So what we do, first we will do it, the whole thing, exact problem. We will write it in rough work. And when the rough work is successful, then we used to write nicely in the class notes or homework notes or whatever. Right or not? React also do that. But sir, when you do it in rough work, does your math sir know your rough work? No. No, no. Because that rough work is for you. For only for you. No one knows it. No one can see it. What actually people see is a fair notes. Same way, what people actually see is actual dump. But React will do copy work. React is like, okay, तुमको change चाहिए ना? So I will copy this all. It will make one copy. This is called, let's take version 1 or copy 1. Copy 1. Now both are same na? Right or not? Sir, if I click this plus button, everyone online, if I click this plus button, what the zero will become, sir? What the zero will become? So immediately React will be like, okay, if I do plus, zero should become 1. Then it will make another copy. It will do this time another copy, copy 2. Now in this copy 2, 0 is 1. Where is this copy and all are happening? This both are happening in virtual DOM anyway. Now React is having two copies. Anyone tell me what is difference between these two copies? Difference between these two diagrams. What is difference between these two diagrams? X value na? Does except X value any other difference is there? Now React is like childhood how we will compare differences in puzzle books. So React will be like मेरा पास old copy है. I have old copy. I have it like updated copy. This guy changed the state. So new state copy, old state copy. Two copies are there. These two copies compare. React will compare them. React will compare them. And after comparing, whatever changes happens, where changes happen? 0 to in which place where changes happened? Right or not? So then React will go to original DOM and will change only this one. Is React changing everything, sir? Is React changing everything, sir? No. React changing what is exactly necessary. Only that particular part it is changing. It is not changing whole thing. But how it is changing only that particular part, how it will know. So that React will maintain two copies. These two copies will be maintained in something called virtual memory. That is called virtual DOM. What is virtual DOM? It is not a real DOM. It is a temporary memory. React will take it like one temporary memory. Copy one, copy two, compare karo, then change original DOM. After changing original DOM, what it will do, sir? It will just delete this memory because ये पूरा temporary है. खाली rough calculation का कर दिया. Simple. Now value change na in main DOM. To change it in main DOM, it will do this rough thing in virtual DOM. This concept of virtual DOM makes it faster and do exactly changes wherever it is needed. Online, are you getting my point, ma? In React, this is how state works. If I go here, and applications like React website, if I go to the official website React, go here, I will go to this. Now right click, inspect. Now if I go here, right click, inspect. Now, if you see here, everyone, whenever I click this, sir, observe this page. Are everything changing or only some particular things are changing? Dekho. Can you see only some particular things are changing? Does the whole page is changing, sir? No. Only some particular things are changing. Dekho. Some things never change. If you see this div is not changing only. Okay. Because we need that div every time. Only whatever changing, only React will change what is exactly needed instead of changing the whole page. If you know any of the applications which are not built with React, for example, I opened the websites like TCS. I think it's not built with React. If I opened this kind of websites, if I go here, if I click any one thing, now can you see what is happening? Whole thing is changing now. See, anyway, upper line is that upper header is same. That upper header is same. But still, when I'm changing one thing, when I want it only below to change, it is changing the whole page. That is what happens normally every time. Even though Uparwala is same, you are loading it again. That means you are writing it again. That is waste of time. React will remove this risk. You go to ChatGPT also, same thing will happen. When you go to ChatGPT and click the one chart to another chart, only the chart part will change. Left part is same, Uparwala same. Are you getting my point more online? Okay. Let's go with the bullet points. What is a state? State is a change. State is a change. Okay. But every time state changes, that components reloads or re-render. We call it re-rendering. Okay. And state is reactive. Reactive means it will change only the changes, whatever happens. Okay. It will not change everything. Wherever changes needed, only that one it will change. And how do you use state? You will have a hook called use state. Okay. You will import that hook, and this hook will give two values. One is value, another one is a function to update it. And use state always take initial value. Use state is asynchronous so that it will run late. And next, use state uses a topic called virtual DOM. What is the topic name? Virtual DOM. Now today's task, tomorrow is Sunday, so you have time. So I don't recommend you to do big things. I want you to do chota thing. I want you to do this one, counter online. Can you do this counter, sir? Nice animated counter. When I click this increase, it's increasing. When I click decrease, it's decreasing. Now, if I click reset, it will stop. Is it clear, ma? Online? Good. All I want is this only. Okay. And better before we leave, draw this diagram in the notes. Just draw this so that you will understand how the virtual DOM works. You can actually do the same thing in my example. If you want to draw my example, you can draw it, or this is like a simple one. So what the virtual DOM will do, it will take one copy and it will take it like the copy two, and it will compare these two copies, and wherever changes happened, only that part it will do it in the original DOM. Are you getting my point, ma? This is a classic React virtual DOM. In interview, people will ask what is component, what is prop, what is state, what is virtual DOM. And if you understand this, basics pillars are perfect. मेरा एक प्रॉब्लम है, हम जब इंडेक्स डॉट एच टी एम एल में टाइटल को अंदर कुछ लिखा है तो वेब ब्राउजर में सर्च नहीं सो नहीं कर रहा है. It should show, ma, Ravindra. If it is not showing, stop your control C, stop your server and run it one more time. How to add icons by using React, sir? You can use Font Awesome, or there are something called React icons. If you do it, it will work. Sir, I feel difficulty. I'm not able to understand anything from myself. What should I do? If you're not able to understand anything from yourself, okay, just start with the basic. Again, one more time. Concepts might be easy for you. Okay, how to connect the icons in components? Just install one library, ma. Icons are just a library. If you wanted to start anything from starting, sir, I recommend people to go with something called GPTs. Okay, use GPTs for online learning. I will ask the GPTs, like, for example, I will go to the chat GPT and I will ask, I am learning React. So give me one small task, first task, very basic task. I will do it and I will give it to you code. You tell me whether it is right or wrong, and where I am wrong, where I am right. Every time ChatGPT give you one task, you will do it and you will submit it to ChatGPT. Instead of you ask ChatGPT what it is, you will give the answer to ChatGPT and ChatGPT will tell right or wrong. Okay, make it in that way, it will be more easy. Instead of watching tutorial, that is the best way to do. If you still not able to find anything, connect icons and all, don't worry. I will show it like Monday one more time. Don't worry. Okay. So try to connect the tailwind and do it best. Okay. And I will upload whole thing into the GitHub. If anyone don't have my GitHub link, this is my GitHub link. Sir, yesterday task. Yesterday task you all done, ma? How many of you done? None. None. Zero रे. क्या हुआ? Tailwind CSS not working. Why not working? But you used all three steps. It should work, right? I will show one more time. Okay, Monday I will show the tailwind then. Okay, class on particularly tailwind you want, specifically tailwind CSS you want. Let's fix Monday. Monday I will do one more project. That project is based on components, props, state. We'll build something bigger one like Netflix one we did na. Same Netflix one I will do. Each movie I will put a add to cart so that when I click add to cart, it will update the state, and I will do nice CSS to it. The using tailwind. Okay, Monday we'll try that now. Okay, if you not get anything, please tell me, sir. I will do it for that. No worries. If people who don't have it, like you can take my GitHub. सर कमांड प्रॉम्प्ट में कर रहा है सर ब्राउजर PowerShell not work कर रहा है some systems PowerShell not work actually online some people tried it okay but images के बाद our और एक component है okay someone tried it they are getting the images okay not bad it can be better but this is good we'll show you Monday more interesting okay that's it for today thank you all my yeah online any questions you can tell me sir Monday one class on icons. In Monday class, I will put icons also. Okay? Pakka I will put. Welcome to Prasad movie. Again, used AI ma. I don't recommend you to use AIs. This is also AI. By seeing it, I can tell. Yes, it is. I know you used anchor tags, but the exact feel is AI. See, this is AI. I can honestly say the way this gives the fake values are AI, 100%. No humans will put that directly. Okay. There is a way that people think and thinks. Sir, once open movie rule site that once component not completed. Movie rule site, not understand. Which movie rules? Kalim. On Google, you said a page reference to sir. Uh, okay, we'll see Monday, Kalim. Okay. Yeah. Thank you all. Thank you.